All right, Shalom Yahweh Hashem Thumb. Shalom Yahweh Shema Alatham Bashim Yashato Israel, right? All of Israel, top the last 12 sheep, sorry, the last 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, right? Scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, mainly South Central and North, North Central and South America, right? Um, this is the IACPK Israel School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, right? Let me know if you can't hear me. If you want me to speak up a little louder. You know, all right. So let me know if you have any questions that you're trying to get answered. Any questions according to whether it be and any of your questions, right? And here we answer all questions. Um, and we want scripture to this class specifically scripture breakdown, right? This is where you get your scriptures broken down. If nobody has any questions, all right, I'm gonna open the class for questions. All right, I'm gonna get to the topic, right? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Give me so like Proverbs 10:5, right? We'll start there. All right, we'll start there. Book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 5. Go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 5. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a...
Sorry, Matthew's. What did I say?
You said 10:5, sir?
Matthew's 10:5. All right.
Matthew, chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
These 12, right? Most of us, like Christ is giving his disciples, right? His disciples order, right? He commanded them, right? He's giving them instructions of what? Of where to go, right? These 12, Yahweh sent forth and commanded them, saying, what? Keep going.
Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Not into the way of the Gentiles, right? Go not into the way of the Gentiles. Right?
And into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not.
Into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not. Right? That's Christ saying, don't go into places. Right? Instead of going into, Scottsdale, why don't you go over here to South Phoenix, right? Instead of going to Paradise Valley, why don't you come over here in the res? Go to the res, right? Go rather to what?
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So I get.
These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Right, into any city of the Samaritans, right? The Samaritans would be somewhere in Jerusalem, right? Let me get it for you specifically. Give me 2 Kings, I believe. Mistaken. The first Kings. 2 Kings 17, verse. Start at verse 22. You can start at verse 22.
This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 17, verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all.
So like verse 18.
Verse 18. Therefore, the Lord was very angry with Israel,
right,
and removed them out of his sight.
Right.
There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
Of what?
The tribe of Judah only.
But the tribe of Judah only, right? But Israel, right? Israel was removed, right? Because of what we sinned, of what we did against the Most High, right? How we sinned against the Most High. Read verse 22.
Verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam,
Right. What did we do?
walked in all the sins of Jeroboam,
Keep going.
which he did.
Right, which he did. Right. Keep going.
They departed not from them
Keep going.
until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight.
Right. Until we didn't stop worshiping this man, right? Jeroboam, right? Until we were removed. Keep going. From Israel, right? So removed Israel out of his sight, right? Out of the Most High's sight, right? Go ahead.
As he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land
Out of what?
out of their own land
Right. Out of their own land. Keep going.
to Assyria unto this day.
To Assyria unto this day, right? And where read verse 24. So
Verse 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim and placed them in the cities of Samaria.
all right. So all these other nations, right? All these other nations came were replaced, right? They replaced replaced Israel, right? They came into the city of what? A Samaria instead of the children of Israel, right? So Israel was not there. That's why Christ said, "Don't go into the cities, right? Don't go into the way of the Gentiles, right? Don't go into the way of the Gentiles." And another thing, what was it? Go not, but go not into the city of the go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into the city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Why was that? The reason why was because Israel was not there. You weren't gonna find Israel, right? The lost sheep, right? Let's go now. Let's go. Go back to 10 verse 6.
So like you sir, which book?
That's like Matthew 10:6.
All right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? Like we're going, like what we doing here in these classes, not only in these classes, but out in the streets, right? When we go out and fish for brothers and sisters to come into the truth, right? When we're out there handing out flyers, whether it be handing out flyers, doing food drives, or holding camp, right? What we're out fishing for brothers only, right? We're all so like brothers and sisters, right? For our people, right? Our are the ones you are, if you so-called First Nation, right? So-called, Native American, right? You come from the tribe of Gad, right? Now, these brothers, right? These brothers, don't have that knowledge, right? We still address ourselves as Christians or as, Catholics or as, Mexicans, you know, and that's what they addressed us as. Even when you apply for an application, right? When you apply for a job and you get the application, what do you put? You don't put, Israel, right? You put what? Mexican, right? You put what? Black. Why? Because that's the other that's unless you put other, right? Unless you put other in those options, right? But in the application, even in the application, they will put that. Even in your own birth certificate, they put that, right? Even in your own birth certificate, they'll put you as, Mexican with this and that, right? Give me it's like give me verse 7.
Verse 7. And as ye go preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Right. And as you go preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand, man. Look, get yourself together, man. Come into these classes, get a flyer, look us up, subscribe to these channels, you know, follow us on all social media platforms. Go follow Commander Jerry Hanna in Black Watch, right? Black Watch, the Inconvenient Truth, Let a Hebrew Speak, Boot Up or Shut Up, right? All these platforms that will expose the truth to you, right? Like all this truth that you need, right? All the truth that was hidden from you, right? Go to these brothers, right? Go to these brothers and let them know who they are and who the salvation is for. Let them know who God loves, man. Let them know that the Most High hasn't forgotten you, man. And teach them and correct them from their ways, right? Direct their ways, right? Their path, right? Having a give me a it's like give me Revelations, right? Give me Revelations 20:11.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away.
Right. Let's break that real quick. And I saw a great white throne. All right, let's start right there. Give me what great white throne is, right? If anybody knows the answer, right, type it in. What is the great white throne? Why is this throne white, first of all, right? Why is it white? Or if you know, it's not streaming.
It's not even. It's not even streaming comments right now, sir.
Comments.
Yeah, it's not giving any chat comments.
No, it's all good. If there's no comments, it's too long, right? But let me ask you again. Right? Why is this throne white? Right? I'm asking you for about a month. So because it's clean, it's righteous. Right? So this is righteous. Now, and that's the basically vision, right? And we know vision is revealed to you, right? So let's see the vision. So first we got that sat on whose face earth, the heaven fled away. Like the earth, now you gotta see this vision. All right, so earth and the heaven fled away. Right now, what is the earth and what is the heaven? First, give me the earth. What is the earth?
The Most High's footstool.
That's a good guess, but no, that's not what it is. Right. So first of all, right, read that again. Read verse 20 again. That's like verse 11 again.
And I saw a great white horse, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away.
Right, they both fled away, right? Go ahead.
And there was found no place for them.
Right, so there is no place found for the heaven and earth. Why was there no place found for the heaven and earth? First, you got to know what the heaven and earth is. First, all right, give me what heaven is. Every single time you read heaven, it has to be of what?
Either the sky, or what we would know as outer space, or the throne room of the Most High.
Right, or the throne of the Most High, right? Now, right, if you want to know the throne of the Most High, give me Isaiah 66, I believe it's verse 1. Right, Isaiah, here, I'm going to go with you. I believe it's Isaiah chapter 66, verse 1. Go ahead whenever you got it.
All right. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne.
The what?
The heaven is my throne.
Go ahead.
And the earth is my footstool.
Right. I can see why you said the earth was, the Most High's footstool, right? But that, right, we're going to break it down, right? Now let's go back.
There was found no.
This is what you want to know. It's the earth and the heaven, right? They're both in rulership. The heaven and earth are both are governments, I should say, right? I'll say it like that. They're both governments, right? The heaven is a metaphor for the low governments, right? The low governments, for instance, for example, like one of the low governments would be Japan, China, or Africa, right? Now these are not in charge, right? These governments are not in charge of the world, but they are servants of who rules the world. Who is the one in rulership?
Edom.
Right, Edom, right?
Yes, sir.
Now that is the heavens, right? That is part of the heavens, right? So the heavens would be like America. America, give me one, Rome,
Greece,
Greece, right?
Germany,
Italy, like
France.
The Vatican's, like people who are in rulership, right? The things that you what? Now remember, it's heaven. The things that you what?
Can't have.
No, the things that you what? It's in heaven. So what are you doing?
Looking up at it.
You look up to them, right? So I'm not saying you. I'm saying like the world, right? So the world looks up to these, to these heavens, right? So they look up to these governments. They look up to, America, and they say, oh, land of the free and home of the brave, right?
Right.
And look, they look up to America and say, man, like so much freedom, right? Freedom of what? Speech. But really, when you try to say that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, they flag you every single time, right?
Mhm.
When they say freedom of religion, they look up to they look up to the ICPK and they say you are preaching hate,
Mhm.
right? When we're trying to gather ourselves together,
Mhm.
right? When we're trying to get our people together and to teach them about their true and living God,
Mhm.
right? Rather than some dumb rock or some image, right? Some Virgin Mary, right? Some discuss some that goes completely against what the scripture says and what the Most High is like talking about, right? The Most High's word, right? Um, so yeah, so these heavens, you look up to them, right? You idolize them. You're inspired to to achieve or to to look up to Hollywood and stuff like that. You know, yeah, Hollywood, Hollywood, or things that you love or rap about. Both governments are fleeing from him who sits on the throne, right? Now, who is the he?
The Most High.
The Most High, right? So now there is no place for them. Why is there no place for them?
Because nobody can be delivered out of the hand of the Most High.
Because there is no place for them to rule.
Oh.
Because there's no place for them to rule. So basically, there's no place for them to govern. You know, there's no place for a wicked rulership no more. Right? There's no more place for these governments to make rules or laws of how to oppress you. There's no place for them in this earth to get away with crime anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's no place for them to get away with crime, to allow homosexuality to run rapid in this earth, right? To teach God's children that it is okay to be a homosexual.
Right.
Teach them of that image, right? That image of Caesar Borgia, that pedophile, right? Who they call Christ, who they painted to be Christ, right? Now they don't have what? The law. Now they're not allowed to paint themselves as the law. The man, what's that one? Oh man, I just had it. Go ahead.
So like you said, so like just like for the sake of the imagery, with the heaven, because we know it's Edom. That's basically the nation that you see when you look up in the Sistine Chapel, which is sacrilege anyway, to show them as the saints. And that wasn't that the same artist that painted Bozier? So,
Um, yeah, but what this is talking about is that the image, like the heaven and earth, meaning these two governments,
mm-hmm.
they're fleeing from the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
They're fleeing from what? From judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is what that's why they're fleeing. They're fleeing for judgment. Not only are they fleeing for judgment, but the Most High said You know, they gave him a heavy ass case that he could not fight, right? So that's basically what's going on. The dead, small and great, right, stand before the Most High, right? Small and great meaning the kings and the homeless people, right? Everybody's going in, right? Everybody will get judged, good, the bad, for what they did, right? For what? For mercy, either for mercy or basically according to your works. Whatever you did, the Most High will either reward you with what? With mercy, or right?
And another book was opened, which is the book of life.
Right. So two books were open. So the books were open: the law, the statutes, and what you're charged with, right? So the books were open, and now they're reading the what? The books. They're reading the charges. They're reading everything that all your works, right? All the records that they've had on every single one, right? Everybody's gonna get judged on this day, right? The small and the great, right?
The dead were judged out of those things written in the books, according to their works.
According to
Their works.
according
Their works.
right? So any Christian tell that the law is done away with, that Christ died for our sins, because even in the Most High will judge you for what you do, right? Why would the Most High even destroy? So like, why would the Most High even create laws for you to disobey, right? So because you decided to think that it's okay to eat pork, right? Because of what? Because you misinterpret one scripture, right? You misinterpret well, what's that one? How does it go? It's not what entered enters into the mouth of a man that defiles him, but what comes out of it, right? Like, you believe because you hear that, you think what? That it's okay to eat pork because what you consume, right, won't harm you. But yet, didn't we just get coronavirus from eating bat soup?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you get the Ebola from eating what? Monkeys?
Mm-hmm.
So if what you eat can, harm you, what does that say? That means you need to start eating some pork, man.
Mm-hmm.
You need to stop eating that swine flesh, man. You need to change your diet. You need to change your diet. Not only that, but you also need to change your life, man. If you do not want to die, right? If you do not want to sit in the front of the Most High and read the judgment that will fall upon you, right? Make thy election short, man. Make sure that you are not doing what everybody else is doing, right? You're not carrying that mark, right? You're not carrying that mark, right? You're not doing the work of what? The oppressor, right? You're not worshiping that image of Caesar Borgia and the Virgen de Guadalupe, right? That porqueria, all that disgustingness, right? All that filth. You're worshiping these idols instead of the creator. You're worshiping the creation instead of the creator. You're worshiping the stars. You're worshiping, the signs of stars, the zodiac signs of Cancer, Pisces, and the stones and the rocks and the sage and the weed, oh the weed, the shrooms and all anything that makes you feel what happy. It makes you feel good about yourself, right? Because what serving the Most High requires what pain. Serving the Most High requires sacrifice, right? It requires you of destroying that man that you once were, of death, right? Death. It means you are now gonna leave the world to serve the Most High. You gonna what? Pick up this burden. You gonna pick up this burden of what? Of serving the more of standing on the right side with Christ, right? Now, all those works, all that work, you'll get rewarded for it, right? You'll get rewarded for it. Give me Revelations. I believe 2:26. Where is it? Yeah, 2:26.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 26.
Verse 25.
Verse 25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come.
Hold fast till I come, right? Keep going.
And he that overcometh, he unto the
Unto the works. Our works unto the end, right? If you if you as Christ suffered, if you suffer, go ahead.
to him will I give power over the nation.
To him will I give power over the nation. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that worthy of dropping the blunt, of stop smoking weed, cigarettes, of being weak, being a coward, of being a homosexual? I forgot. You love the world, man. You love the world, so the what? The love of the Father is not in you. You love the world, so what? You get to be selfish because nobody tells you what to do, and anytime anybody dares to speak or to let you know what to do, to correct you. Anytime anybody tries to correct you, you have an excuse. You have so many, man, I like what you guys are doing, right? I like what you guys are doing. You guys are saying some powerful things, right? Just, can you just turn it down a little, this, and that, right? I like what you guys are saying, You guys are saying everything that's right. It's just your delivery, right? They'll say something like that. Your delivery is just too strong. Damn that, man. You love you are ties, word. Oh, we just sing. right? And with that, this is the ISUPK Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Pay your tithes, right? Pay your tithes. Any every 10% of anything that the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department, give to Commander Jerry Hanna, right? With that, shalom.